guys, welcome back. As you can see, it's time for another edition of Cruising with Charity. Today I have the Westminster head football coach joining me today, Leblanc. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Charity.
I've been waiting to do a ride along with you, so I'm so happy you're able to do it.
I'm glad to do it.
So I actually learned something interesting about you.
Oh no.
You actually worked a little bit under Mike Shula and Nick Saban?
I did.
Tell me a little bit about that. That's so cool.
I was working at American Christian Academy in Tuscaloosa for our current head of school. He was the head football coach, Stephen Hooks. And one summer, I just got married actually in June of 2005. And July 2005, I get a call to go be a grad assistant at Alabama. And I did that for 2 years under Shula. It was an unbelievable experience. And then we went through the coaching change. And that was tough because we didn't know what was going to happen to us as grad assistants. And it was kind of unusual. Most of the grad assistants at that time were married, and some had kids. And so here we are trying to figure out what we're going to do. We're going to get fired. And then Coach Saban came in, and he kept two of us. And it was me and my buddy Gabe. And it was really a crazy experience.
Yeah.
But thankful I got to go through it and had a great time that year under him, and really wanted to stay longer, but my wife was like, it's time to go get a real job because it didn't pay that much. But anyway, it was fun. It was an awesome time.
Yeah. Now, I want to talk a little bit less about football. I know you do that all day long, every day long. What would you do if you weren't a football coach?
Man, I really don't know. Football coach had impacted my life so much growing up. I was like my dad, and so I think I always knew I wanted to do that. I know at one point I talked about wanting to be a doctor and working with kids as a pediatrician. I was really drawn to that, and was actually going to school for that. But then somewhere along the way, I called my mom and told her, I said, it's not what I want to do, and I really want to teach and I want to coach, and that's what I did. So I guess if I wasn't coaching, hopefully I may have pursued that path. If not, I want to do something where I could just work with people. I love being around people. What
do you like most about coaching then?
I love the impact that you get to have in a young person's life, helping them work through problems. I learned from an early age in coaching that I kind of got excited when a kid was having a problem as a 14 or 15-year-old because there was time to help him work through it. And I would rather see it then than when they were 24 or 25 or 35 and maybe less of an opportunity to help. So I love that aspect of it. You know, winning games and the X's and O's are incredibly fun, but really it's the relationships that mean the most.
Yes, sir. What are some of your hobbies outside football?
Well, I love to fish. I don't get to do it as much as I'd like, but I do love to fish.
You have a boat?
I don't. Man, I wish I did. I love to play guitar. I've been playing guitar.
What?
I've been playing guitar for years. And this year I'm actually helping our chapel music team. I have to get them organized and help pick out songs. So I don't play with them. I let the kids lead it. But I love playing guitar. I really miss it.
What kind of guitar? Acoustic, electric?
Both.
Both? Oh my goodness. I would have never thought.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I used to play in a band in college and used to love doing that. It was a lot of fun.
Wait, what was your band name?
Soup Bone.
How did y'all come up with that?
I don't know. They were a band before I got in it, and they picked me up, and so we were fun. We had a great time and loved playing. It was a bunch of music majors from Gadsden State, and I was at the University of Alabama, and we found each other, and we'd hook up on the weekends and play, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
I'm so shocked right now.
Yeah, I played guitar and I play harmonica, so we had a good time.
Just dropping gems out here. Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're from Alabama?
I was born in New Orleans. We moved to Birmingham when I was 3, and we were in Birmingham until I graduated high school, and then went to Alabama in 1992 as a freshman, and then graduated, got my master's degree from there, and then started teaching and coaching in Tuscaloosa, and then went back to be a GA. So a lot of time in Alabama. Even though I was born in Louisiana, most of my life has been Alabama.
So I know you came here with Coach Hooks. Is that what really brought you here to Huntsville? Or?
Well, actually, I was in college football for 8 years because I left Alabama to go coach at West Georgia, and for 5 years. And Coach Hooks was in that time had come up here, and so he would email me or text me or call me every year, say, hey, I got a job if you want it, and I really wasn't in a place where I felt like I was going to leave college football, but one day I just felt like I got really convicted. I was waking up and going to work and coming home, and both times my 2 boys were asleep, and it was killing me. And I grew up without a dad in the house, and I remember almost being in tears with my wife and saying, I'm becoming what I said I never wanted to be. I mean, we're together, we're not divorced, but I'm not here, and I'm not seeing my kids. So I actually went to a football camp to work at Alabama because my in-laws lived in Tuscaloosa, and we would go and work the summer camp sometimes. And I met Burton. I mean, I saw Burton Burns. I used to work with him under Saban that one year, and Burton and I hugged and talked. And he's from Louisiana, and we kind of have that kindred, connection. And he showed me pictures of his new grandson. And I said, Burton, that's awesome. And I said, I bet you love that. And he said, well, you know how we work. I never really get to see him, but my wife sends pictures. So I went back to my car just feeling so small, saying, I'm working my tail off to get to his level, and for what? And lo and behold, the way God works, I literally pulled my phone out right after that, checked my email, and there's an email from Coach Hooks that says, I got a job if you want it. And next thing I know, 2 weeks later, we're moving. And so it was really a God thing, because honestly, the year before, I wasn't ready to leave college. It had been a dream of mine, and I was doing it. And but the circumstances changed, and I've got some great friends that are doing it still in college, and they're able to balance it. I just was not able to get my family time in, and that really meant a lot to me.
Yeah, well, I gotta ask you about some game day rituals. I feel like a lot of times coaches and even players, they have some rituals they do. Do you have anything you do on game day?
I'm not superstitious, but I am. I guess I am ritualistic, I guess, as far as I like for things to have a pattern. It helps me stay organized. So I've got a lot of game day forms that I fill out, some rosters and depth charts, things that I keep with me during the game in case of an injury. I know who's backing up who and whatnot. If we got to take a kid off of special teams due to injury, we can fill that in quickly. I get all the things we use in a game charged up and ready to go. I got to make sure I've got my hands on all that. It's just a peace of mind thing. I will say that I probably wear the same shirt under my coaching cage jacket every week. And this year I changed up the hat that I wore from last year. And after we lost 2 games in a row, I went back and got the hat from last year, and we haven't lost since. So I guess that is a superstition there. But my coach, one of my coaches, Coach Riley, got mad at me. He says, "Why did you change the hat, Coach? We were 11-1 last year. Put the 11-1 hat back on." So that's what I did. But other than that, I mean, I guess I'm constantly thinking about what did I forget, what do I need to address, and but it's funny to see players that the same pair of gloves or the same wristband, or I got to have this, whatever, and it's funny, but hey, whatever gets you ready to play, I guess.
Yes, sir. I knew you had to have something. I feel like almost everybody that's an athlete and coach kind of have to have something to kind of hang on to. Now, I do kind of want to talk a little bit about this season. You guys, 4-2 on the season so far. What's your assessment on the team about halfway through? What's your assessment of your team this year?
And Coach Hooks used to always say, if the season is flying by, that means you've got a good group. And I cannot believe it's week 7. And this group has been a great group to coach. And I love this group because they're coming off of being a part of a great year last year. And they're trying to figure out who they are. And we lost so many kids from that team last year that there was a lot of unknowns. And I feel like we had a great first game, scored a lot of points, and I feel like that was almost a false sense of confidence going into an incredibly tough Madison County game, and then our first region game with Culver Heights, who's also well coached. So it was really kind of neat looking back now, sitting at 4-2, to see them have a really amazing high the first game, really low second and third week, and to see them respond. And again, to me, this is what high school football and athletics is all about, is guys that are presented with an issue And then what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about adversity? What are we going to do about uncertainty? And so they've got the maturity. They have the maturity to step up and overcome that. And I've been so proud of them. And the games, the games that we've won since then, we've had adversity in those, and they've just risen above it and made plays, and that's been exciting.
Anything else you want to add?
I appreciate you doing this. This is great exposure, for our school, and opportunity to highlight some of these athletes and coaches and what they do. I think it's an amazing thing. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for joining me today.
Oh, of course.
Well, guys, that does it for another edition of Cruising with Charity. Send it back to you guys in the studio.